Have you ever stood in front of a customer, calculator in hand, making up equipment sizes based on square footage and hope? I did, and it cost me big time. Let me tell you about the day I oversized a system by 40% because I was too scared to do proper load calculations. The callbacks, they haunted me for months. But here's the thing. That mistake taught me something crucial about HVAC sales that changed everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're tackling something that's probably making you uncomfortable right now, load calculations. But stick with me because in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you how these calculations can become your fastest path to premium proposals that customers actually trust. And trust me, while your competition's still using 500 square feet per ton rules, you'll be closing deals with confidence. Let's face reality. Customers are Googling manual J before you can even leave their driveway. The days of rule of thumb sizing are over. But here's the good news. That's your opportunity to shine. I learned the hard way early in my career. Picture this, I'm standing in a 2,400 square foot colonial, confident in my 4-ton recommendation. The homeowner, turns out he was a mechanical engineer, pulls out his phone and starts asking about building envelope calculations, infiltration rates, and duct efficiency factors. I felt like I was speaking Martian while he was speaking rocket science. That humbling moment changed my entire approach. When I realized load calculations weren't just about equipment sizing, but also customer confidence, everything changed. My close rates jumped, and suddenly premium pricing became easier to justify. Why? Because I wasn't just selling equipment anymore, I was selling expertise. Here's what nobody talks about in my ACA classes. Load calculations are as much about customer psychology as they are about BTUs. Think about it from their perspective. They're about to spend $8,000, $15,000, or maybe $25,000 on equipment they don't understand, installed by someone they just met. What gives them confidence? Detailed analysis that shows you understand their specific situation. I remember this one job, a ranch home with a finished basement. Previous contractor recommended a straight 3-ton replacement because that's what was there. But when I showed the homeowner how the finished basement changed the load profile, how new insulation and air sealing they added reduced their needs, and why a 2.5-ton variable speed system would actually perform better, that's when everything clicked for them. The sale wasn't about the equipment anymore. It was about trust in my process. And that trust, that's what justifies your premium pricing. Now I know what you're thinking. Manual J is overwhelming. But here's my secret. It's just organized common sense with better math. I've developed a 15-minute assessment routine that captures 90% of what you need. Here's my systematic approach. Start with the essential data collection strategy. First, I focus on the big movers, the factors that actually impact load calculations significantly. Window details, including orientation and size, insulation levels, ceilings, and duct conditions. These 4 factors alone account for most of your load variation. Second, I use what I call the smartphone audit. Take photos of key areas, the electric panel, maybe it's been upgraded or it shows the home's age. Basement shots reveal duct systems and insulation. Maybe attic shots show me what we're really working with up there. The visual documentation becomes part of my proposal later. Third, I developed a simple questioning routine that uncovers comfort issues that standard calculations miss. Which rooms are too hot in the summer? Too cold in the winter? When do you typically adjust the thermostat? These answers guide equipment selection beyond just tonnage. I'll be straight with you. The right software makes this process ridiculously fast. I use Conduit on existing homes now because it handles the monotonous measurements and complex calculations while I get to focus on accurate data input. But here's the key, the software is only as good as your data collection process. With this, I can now complete a residential load calc in 15 minutes on site. Not because I'm faster at math, but because I'm more systematic about gathering the right information and I have the right tool. Here's where it gets interesting. Your load calculation isn't just a number. It's proof that you know what you're doing. Instead of saying you need a 3-ton unit, imagine saying, based on your home's specific heat loss and heat gain calculations, here's exactly why a 2.5-ton system will deliver optimal comfort and efficiency. You see the difference? Let me give you a real example. Last month, I know a contractor that was competing against 2 others for a $16,000 replacement job. Both of their competitors recommend a 4-ton system because they were replacing a 4-ton system. Simple, right? But their load calculations showed something different. The home had been extensively renovated. New windows, added insulation, and sealed ductwork. They recommended a 3-ton variable speed system and explained exactly why. The homeowner asked, why didn't the other contractors catch this? Perfect opening. Because they most likely quoted based on what was there, not what you need now. That technical credibility opened the door to discuss advanced comfort features, better warranties, and premium installation practices. Once customers see you've done the math, they trust your other recommendations. Duct sealing, air quality improvements, zoning systems. These add-ons become easier to sell because you've established technical authority. Now, let me show you how to turn these calculations into proposals that practically close themselves. I've gone from taking 3 days to create proposals to generating them on site. And no, it wasn't just better software, it was better systems. First, I present the load calculation results as a diagnostic report, not a sales pitch. Here's what I found about your home's heating and cooling requirements. This positions me as a consultant, not a salesperson. Second, I connect every equipment recommendation back to the calculated load. Your home requires 28,400 BTUs of cooling. Here's why this particular system at 30,000 BTUs gives us the perfect match with room for efficiency optimization. Third, I use the calculation data to build value around premium features. Variable speed operation, advanced staging, zoning capabilities. These aren't just features, they're solutions to specific calculator requirements. If possible, print the load calc summary and leave it with the customer. This serves two purposes. It demonstrates thoroughness and gives them something to compare when other contractors show up with back of the envelope estimates. If you're not comfortable with this yet, maybe just wait until they've signed the contract before leaving them with your design. Let me tell you about the skeptical engineer who became a great referral source. He challenged every recommendation until they showed him the detailed load calculations. They started by asking about infiltration assumptions, questioned the duct efficiency factors, wanted to know about internal heat gains. Instead of getting defensive, this company walked him through every assumption in the calculation, showed him how they accounted for his south-facing windows, his cathedral ceiling, even his home office equipment load. That technical discussion turned into an $18,000 sale and 6 referrals over the next year. You see, many engineers work with other engineers. Some customers will say, the other guy didn't need all this information, and that's your cue. You're right, and that's exactly why you called me for another opinion. Would you rather have equipment size for an average house or equipment size for your house? Yes, proper load calculations take more time up front, but consider this. I would spend 15 extra minutes on calculations and save hours on callbacks, warranty claims, and reputation damage. Which is the better investment? Okay, here's your 48-hour challenge. Pick a load calculation software today, practice on your own home tomorrow, and use it on your next sales call. Stop competing on price and start winning on precision. If this video helped you see load calculations differently, please hit that like button for more HVAC sales strategies that actually work in the real world. Maybe drop a comment below sharing your biggest calculation revelation. I read and respond to these because your field experience helps all of us get better. Remember, customers don't just buy equipment, they buy confidence in your recommendations. Load calculations give them that confidence and give you the credibility to charge what you're worth. Thanks for joining me at HVAC Pro Blog, where we provide advice for residential system design, quality installation, and system diagnosis. I'll see you soon.